Hey, boys and girls. Sorry I'm not with you here today. I have COVID. Somehow I managed to not get COVID over these last 2 years. And go figure, first week back to school this year, I got super sick. I'm not dying or anything, but I do have I do have a fever still. But as long as I take pills and stuff, it's in control. And my wife's sick. It's like some of my kids are sick. It's just going through bad. Doctor says I have to isolate till the 29th. That's a lot of time. I teach AP and honors classes. That's a lot of time to miss out. And so I'm going to try to make videos for you guys to watch while I'm out, so you can watch these along. Please be good for your subs this week for me and probably for your other teachers because I'm sure other people are out sick as well too. Um, and so please behave and be kind. Fifth period, if you have any questions about this stuff, ask Ryan. Everybody look at Ryan right now and just stare at him awkwardly. Um, he just took this class last year, so he should, remember some of this stuff here. Seventh period, my teacher aide for you guys is Miss Chen. She took this class 2 years ago, so be kind to her. So, anyways, so she is shy, anyways. Okay, anyways, here's my hopes and dreams. Today, like usually Unit 1 doesn't even last that long. So today I want to finish up all of 1.3 that we almost got through. Then I want to see how far we can get to 1.4, but I only want this video to be like 20, 30 minutes. Also, this is the third video I've made today and my throat's hurting and I'm getting tired here. So some of these concepts can be a little tricky. This is honestly what we're getting into is the most complex part of Unit 1, which is calculating opportunity cost and figuring out terms of trade. That's probably the trickiest part of all of Unit 1. Some of you are going to get it right away. Some of you are going to struggle a little bit for these concepts. Watch the video. Maybe this will work out great because you can pause or watch things. Watch Khan Academy videos if you're still struggling. Ask for help. We will do some examples. I'll probably get a worksheet or something to your sub, whoever it is, for Wednesday for them to help you do some practice and stuff. That's kind of what I'm hoping for right now. But I think you guys are smart kids. You'll be able to figure out a lot of this stuff. And if you don't, it's only Unit 1. It's like 10% of the entire class total. So we'll have time to work on it throughout the rest of the year. Okay, without further ado, let's get into this stuff. So, Friday. Friday we were talking about topic 1.3 production possibility curve, and we said it's our first ever model, our first economic model, our first graph, but we're going to use it throughout the entire year. We're going to see it again like at the very end of the year too, when we're comparing countries and stuff. What does it show us? It shows us trade-offs, that there's only so much stuff we can have in the world, right? That we all have to make trade-offs for things. We live in a world with scarcity, so helps us make decisions. And then this is pretty much right where, sorry, this is pretty much right where we ended on Friday, where we were looking at this graph here. And we said this is one person on a desert island. They could spend their entire day making coconuts or getting fish, climbing trees and getting coconuts or swimming out and getting fish. Anywhere on this line here is possible, right? This is also possible. It's feasible but not efficient, meaning that, you could hit these points, but you're not living up to your full potential. I usually joke with kids about how you probably understand what that's like. D out here is not feasible. You can't go past it because you can't make more hours in the day, right? That's it. You have limitations of resources. And so this is our productions possibility curve. Or when I was a kid, they called it frontier. I don't know why they changed it, but production possibilities curve. This is the amount of stuff. Now, notice it says curve, and you're probably thinking like, oh, it should be a curved line. It doesn't have to. In economics, especially baby econ, which is what we're doing here, everything's just called a curve, even though it just looks like a nice straight line. All right, so productive efficiency. If you're on the line, you are being efficient. If you are somewhere on this line right here, you are being efficient. All right. You are working at absolute efficiency. All right, you can't do better. So can't improve without robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's an old-fashioned expression, old people expression for that. But like you have to take from something to give to something else. If you want to make more coconuts, you have to give up more fish, right? You can't have both. You can't have point D over here where you're getting both things. So if you're point A here, right, you're getting 15 coconuts and 20 fish. If you want to get to point B, well, you're going to have to give up some coconuts to get more fish, right? Both points, you're working at absolute 100% of your resources, spending all your time. They're both efficient points, just different combinations of resources, 15, 20, 9, 28, right? So, things to think about. Are all points created equally? Allocative efficiency is when you are being productively efficient, so you're somewhere on that line. And by the way, this is like at most a multiple choice question on your exam, your AP exam. So don't freak out about this. Like you got to memorize these terms. You'll be fine. All right, just get the concept. Productive efficiency, you're on the line. Allocative efficiency is where you take into consideration the wants of the people. Let's say this person here likes fish more than coconuts. Well, then point B is allocatively more efficient for them because they're sort of getting a balanced meal, but they like fish more than coconuts, right? So they're being efficient. They're using their time. They're not just sitting on their butts like point C over here, but they choose to get more fish, right? So maybe 28 fish and 9 coconuts are more desirable than 20 fish and 15 coconuts. And yeah, I make a joke here, right, Stalin? But that's what happened, right? Command economies and stuff. Command economies really struggle with allocative efficiency because the government or some other entity tries to say this is what we're going to make, and it's not always what people want. So the Soviet Union had shortages of personal goods, um, while they really focused on heavy manufacturing and stuff like that. Economists say that when you take into account productive efficiency, so where you are on that line, allocative efficiency, well, what people actually want is when you are truly being efficient. That's true efficiency. This will probably not even be on your AP exam, but you know what? It's in the It's in the course exam description, so I got into. You know what? This year you're going to get 5 multiple choice questions about this. Whatever. All right, let's take a look at PPCs. So a standard production possibilities curve is going to come two forms. This is more realistic. This is simplified, but you'll see both of them. All right, so this one right here, nice straight line here. Constant opportunity costs. Resources are easily adapted for producing a good. Result is a straight line. Not common in the real world, all right? So why is this a nice straight line? Well, let's look at this example here. This is a pizzeria. They can make calzones or they can make pizzas. Let's say point A or something up here, they can make 4 calzones. Point E down here, let's say they can make 4 pizzas. The resources that go into a calzone are the exact same as a pizza. Let's be honest, a calzone is just a folded up pizza. Let's be real. That's what it is. So it's no different, right? The resources, the time, and everything like that, it's all the same. So calzones or pizza. Well, here at point A, they make all calzones. They have no pizzas. Here at point E, they make all pizzas. They have no calzones. If they want to make 3 calzones and 1 pizza, the resources used are all the same. The opportunity cost, what they're giving up, right, is all the same. So here, the opportunity cost of that 1 calzone here, that 1 pizza is 1 calzone. So now they get 3 to 1, right? So they gave up a calzone, so it went from 4 to 3 to go from 0 to 1 for pizzas. So the opportunity cost of that pizza is a calzone. Hopefully, I didn't lose anybody yet. But because the resources and everything are the exact same, we get this nice straight line. Isn't that nice? This is not realistic in the real world. Um, I struggle to think of, outside of food, I guess, other industries where everything, like Taco Bell, everything's the same. It's meat and cheese and some kind of tortilla. There you go. It's a brand new product, right? Maybe Taco Bell's like this. But most other things in the real world aren't. Usually this is more realistic. You see it bowed out like this. And why is this? And this, by the way, is the example I was given in college. I don't know why. Some economists said this is the example we're all going to use. So, pizza and robots. So, let's say this pizzeria wants to, branch out. They're like, you know what? Pizzas and calzones, that's yesterday's stuff. We're going to move into the robot business. Now, calzones and pizzas, exact same resources, right? So, it's 1 for 1. You give up 1, you get 1, that sort of stuff. It's a nice straight line. This is a little different. The opportunity costs are not the same. So here, it's not. They have ACs and Bs. I stole this picture just because I like that one. But anyways, let's look over the numbers. You can make 20 pizzas and no robots, right? Pizzas and robots, they're not very similar stuff either, right? So this pizzeria at first is making 20 pizzas, not making 8 robots. They decide to start making robots. Well, they make 1 robot, and it's only going to cost them a little bit of pizza. They're only going to give up The ability to make one pizza, they take one of their ovens apart or something like that. I don't know. They make one robot, and they now have that one single robot. Now, as they want to produce more robots, though, what are we going to notice here with the number of pizzas they have to give up? Well, one robot only costs us one pizza, right? So we're somewhere like up here. But what happens when it bows out like this? Well, that second robot, how many pizzas did we give up? Well, now we gave up a whole three, right? So now we gave up, from here the step. So here it was 0 to 1, and we gave up one pizza. Well, now when we go from 1 to 2 robots, we gave up three here. And then when we go from 2 to 3 robots, we go from 16 to 10. And then if we want to make 4 robots, if this place wants to make 4 robots, they're going to give up that last 10 pizzas. They're giving it all. They're going to give it all up because they're going to have to totally focus their industry on that stuff in order to get there. This is increasing opportunity cost, and this is more realistic. If you're a business, most likely if you can make multiple different things, right? You're going to have to devote more resources, more labor, more capital, more everything, more land resources to making something. To making one thing, it's going to be different from the other. So you're going to have to devote more of your resources to it. So produce more of any good, the opportunity cost, the foregone production of good will increase. It results in a bowed out thing. Now, why does this matter? It's usually not going to for our class, but I will tell you this. On your AP exam, you may have to draw a production possibility curve. If it just says draw a production possibilities curve, either one of these are valid. Draw either one. It's fine. You can draw a nice straight constant opportunity, or you can draw increasing opportunity cost. If it specifies constant opportunity cost or increasing, you have to draw the little lines. It's a nitpicky detail, but that's about it. The straight line is 1-for-1 basic trade-off here. Think calzones and pizza. Increasing opportunity costs, goods are very different. If I want to make more robots, I'm going to have to give up a lot more pizza, right? Um, that sort of stuff. So I don't know why it's always pizza and robots, but that's the example they always give. All right, so can we shift the curve? And when I say shift the curve, and this would help if I was there and I could draw on the board, but when I say shift the curve, what do I mean? So let's look, y'all. Hopefully this shows up all right for you guys. So let's say this is a production possibilities curve, and we'll that's the terrible squiggle. And let's say that's what this line is right here. God, I'm so sick. Sorry. That's our increasing opportunity cost production possibility curves. It's pretty standard. Production possibility curve, we says that we can't get out to here, right? We can't get beyond the curve. We can always be under, we could be in here, but this sucks because we're not living up to our potential, right? Being on that line is efficient. Well, can we shift the curve? And a lot throughout this year, we're going to talk about shifting curves, shifting supply, shifting demand, and that sort of stuff. And what that means is we're going to be talking about moving it. All right, so making a new curve, essentially, right? Making a new line. So the production possibility curve can and should move. All right, and what does that mean? Well, here's our production possibility curve. Ooh, look at this, the miracles of technology here. What if, oh, shoot. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, probably throw some labels on there. Let's throw some labels on there. Let's see. Let's say this is one. No. Where's text? There we go. Let's say that's line 1. And that's line 2. Yeah, who needs chalkboards? And that's line 3. Yeah, that's beautiful. Hopefully that's not super small on your screen. So line 1 is our original one. Here's 2. Here's 3. So I'm saying shift the curve. What I'm actually saying is going either, oops, I was hoping that would be the other way, going either this way or this way. All right, that's shifting the curve. So here we are at 1. How do we get to point 2, or line 2? How do we get to 3? Now stop for a second and think about what I'm actually asking here, right? Here's 1. That's our current production possibilities curve. That's how much we can actually produce given our current resources, given our current factors of production. How do I get to 2? It's a brand new line. Because remember, I said that 1 was our current limitations. How is it that we could get to line number 2, which should go all the way over here? You get that, though. But how is it that we can get to line number 2? Well, Think about what goes into a production possibilities curve. It's the factors of production. So if we can increase our factors of production, if we can get more land, labor, capital, technology also, which can improve our ability to teach labor, the ability to make better capital, right? Do better access to land stuff. We can push the curve out. We make a new production possibilities curve. Think about the production possibility curve of, say, like the United States of America. I know that's a huge thing, but think about where we were 100 years ago and think about where we are now. Thanks to computers, the internet, technology, CNC machines, 3D printing, all this other fancy stuff, CAD, all this stuff that we can design and do electronically now, right? Our production's possibilities way shifted out right. Um, and so that's given us a huge advantage. So we can we're definitely out here. We're out here compared to where we were in 1900, right? Our manufacturing ability and everything is way out here. So that would move us from here to being here. And this is basically new possibilities, new production possibilities over here. And we can be on this curve here. Trade can give access to resources beyond the curve while not technically moving your curve, and we'll talk about that later. Inward shift is also possible. Generally speaking, for almost every single graph, almost, left is always less. So if we shift the curve to the right, that means yay, better, more stuff, more productions, more everything, yay. But think about what it means shift to the left. Well, here we're making more stuff. We have more possibilities. We can make more things. We think about like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can now make more stuff. Well, think about what it means if this is our total production possibilities limit. We are limited by whatever reason, right? For whatever reason, we can't make as much stuff. Production possibility frontier is now limited. Inward shift is bad. That means you can't make as much. Left is typically left. So if I shift the curve to the left, that means I'm drawing a line down in the inward area. That means this is my new limitation. I can't make as much stuff. War. This is something I think a lot about. I worry about food prices. Russia and Ukraine are some of the world's largest grain producers in the world. This war, the longer it drains out, that's going to cause some problems. Think about their production possibilities right now. War puts a big limitation on what a country can produce if your fields are all bombed out, or destroyed. So yeah, destroying land resources and things like that. Natural disasters, severe hurricanes, forest fires, whatever these things. Let's say you're a company that makes furniture. You can make tables or chairs, but then the thinking production possibility curves, think about you hire your laborers, you have your machinery to make your capital. But let's say there's a forest fire that wipes out where you were sourcing your lumber from. Well, what's your production possibilities now? It's going to shrink to the left, right? It might be going out of here. Disease. Believe it or not, I made these notes before COVID, but yeah, if the Black Death happened again, let's go to an extreme where 50% of the world, especially in Europe, like some places 50 to 100% of people died. Like that's taking out your labor pretty severely. So anything that limits your factors of production is going to shift you to the left. So anything that increases factors of production shifts you to the right. Anything that limits it shifts it to the left. Last thing that might, and we'll talk about this more when we get to macroeconomics, but the types of goods matter. All right, let's make a new drawing here. Let's make a new drawing. All right. So let's say we have our nice little production possibilities curve. And let's say over here we have consumer goods. And over here we have capital goods. Now you guys don't need to be experts on the different types of goods or anything yet, but you probably can figure out that capital goods are capital. So capital's tools, things we use to make money, things we use to make stuff, right? So we're producing things, right? So capital. So think like tractors and stuff like that. Consumer goods are things that we consume, right? So toothpaste, toilet paper, consume things made for you though, like clothing and stuff. You guys need to wear clothes. That's important, but clothes aren't probably going to help you produce anything, right? So they're not a capital good. Driving a BMW is nice. A tractor's better at farming, if that sort of makes sense. So let's say a country has a choice. Let's look at their production possibilities curve here. My baby's screaming. She's sick too. Sorry. Um, what type of goods they are going to create matter in the long run. So the types of good matter. If you produce more capital goods than consumer goods, the curve will shift out in the future. Think about why that is. Remember, you can be at different points on this curve and be more efficient. Well, let's say you're like, the ant and the grasshopper, and let's say you decide to, you're the grasshopper. I don't know what I want to do. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. And you want to operate at this point over here. That's fine. That's efficient. You're focusing on consumer goods and stuff. Your economy's not going to grow. Your economy is not going to grow by making a bunch of iPads um, because you're not making more tools that you can then use for production. If you plan for the long run, though, and you plan for more development, right, and you build more tools, you build more tractors, you build more machinery, your capital goods and stuff like this, if you focus more on capital goods, you will probably end up shifting out your PPC in the long run. There we go. Because you're going to have more tools and more stuff that you can use for production, right? So you'll be able to shift out that way in the long run. These arrows suck. All right, so the types of good matter. That's my main point here. Consumer goods, you're not going to see any growth. Capital goods, you are going to see growth. Now, we did talk about allocative efficiency here. If you produce nothing but tractors, your people are going to probably kill you. You want to find somewhere in between, right? Oh boy. I feel like I just threw a lot at you. Oh, don't look at that yet. Don't look at that yet. Tell you what, this is where we'll stop for today because my throat's hurting so bad. And I just threw a lot of concepts at you. So review all these things here. Tomorrow, that'll be Wednesday then, guys. We're going to do comparative advantage and trade. We're going to get into opportunity cost and trade. That gets into some of the more complicated bits of Unit 1. But once we get through that, it should be easy sailing. Like I said, I apologize for being out. We'll make this work, though. Please be good to your subs, and I'll see you all next week.